In today's video, we're talking about how to show a man you like him without scaring him away. I'm going to be giving you 5 feminine ways in which you can show your interest to a man that you like without making him feel overwhelmed by your attention and focus on him. This is dating and relationship coach Sami Wunder. For the last 10 years, I've been specializing in helping smart, strong, successful women find and keep amazing love. And I'm so happy you're here. So before we get into what are the feminine ways you can show your romantic interest in a man, let's talk about the number one mistake I see my Elevate clients make when they like a guy and they are wanting to make sure that he also knows that they like him so that he would pursue them. Now, this mistake is a mindset mistake. And basically what happens is that most women I coach think that just because you like a guy and you tell him you like him, he's going to like you back. And so the mistake women make is that they reveal their feelings to men very directly and rather prematurely in the dating process. Now, don't get me wrong. Being interested in someone, liking someone, being vulnerable about that is actually a beautiful quality to possess. It tells me that you're open-hearted. It tells me you're honest. It tells me you're emotionally in tune with who you are. And those are all beautiful qualities to possess. However, the problem is the timing. And as I said, most women tend to express their feelings to men prematurely. You see, if you go in on date number 1, date number 2, or even in your first 3 interactions with a guy and you tell him, I really like you, I've always liked you, the chances are that you have been very direct. You have killed the entire instinct of pursuit within a man. You have left absolutely no uncertainty. And this is far too early in the bonding process to be so direct and open about your feelings. Of course, if this came 15 dates in, 20 dates in, when he has earned that from you by making effort for you, this vulnerability, this openness of your feelings becomes your strength, because now you're in your feminine and you are showing the man that he's been working for you and making an effort for you, and you are rewarding him with basically your heart and your emotions. But if done too early in the dating process, it actually makes you look like A, you don't have many options in men. B, you're prematurely attached. And of course, you're prematurely attached because you don't have so many options in men. And thirdly, as I already said, it completely kills the chase. It completely kills the pursuit. And you don't want to do that. So if you're somebody right now who likes a guy, whether it's at work or it's through a family friend, you have to make sure that the timing in which you express that you like him is not premature. That's a mistake you really don't want to make. So now we get on to what is it that you can do in order to express your interest in a man. I'm going to be giving you the feminine ways of doing it. I call these the feminine ways because number 1, they're not very direct. Number 2, it still leaves that room for rejection to happen, because sometimes you may like a guy romantically, but maybe he's not available. Maybe he has a partner. Maybe he's married. Maybe he's not looking for anything right now. Maybe he's already met somebody else whom he's considering more seriously. So when you show your interest in a feminine way, it actually reduces the hurt or impact of rejection. So even if he doesn't take your offer, or even if he doesn't take your hint, it doesn't put you in an awkward situation, which of course I don't want a queen like you to be in. All right, so on that note, let's get started. The feminine ways to show a man you like him without scaring him away or overwhelming him with your attention. The number 1 and the easiest way is to focus on your body language when you're around such a man. Are you smiling? Are you making eye contact? Are you making him feel like he has your attention? And if you are doing this, this is a very good way of making somebody feel important, making a man you feel like you're interested in him without being too direct or too overwhelming about it. So very simple, smile and have an open body language, which means Turn your body towards him while you're talking to him. Give him your full undivided attention. Now, tip number 2 to show a man that you like him, and keep watching the video because it gets better and better as we get towards the last tip, is to give a genuine compliment. So when you are interested in somebody, you want to show them that you appreciate them, because all love and romance is based on mutual liking, mutual appreciation. However, again, you have to be mindful of the kind of compliments you're giving, especially when it comes to early dating. Because early dating is where things are the hardest, right? Early dating is where two people who meet and like each other are still gauging, is this a match? Is she as interested in me as I am in her? Does she also like me? And so you have to be mindful of the kind of compliments you give. You know, sometimes when we talk about the feminine power of appreciation and women giving men genuine compliments, sometimes women can sort of be disingenuous in the compliment. They will just make up a compliment about nothing. So sometimes what can happen is that when you're just getting to know a guy, you maybe have watched him on Instagram, maybe you know that he's a very successful CEO, and so you've already built this romantic bias towards him where you already think he's amazing. And so when you go for the date or when you meet him at a party, you may be too eager. You may be giving too many compliments. You may be putting him up on a pedestal without even realizing it. I call this the romantic bias because you've already watched him on Instagram. You already know he's successful. And so there's probably many qualities that you appreciate in him. But it's important to not overload a guy with compliments, because then it can seem a bit disingenuous. And it can feel a bit like, validating his ego versus actually being genuine. So the best kind of compliments to show a man that you're interested in him without scaring him are compliments that come for something he does for you. Anything thoughtful. Like, find something thoughtful that he does for you. It could be as small as him opening the door. It's very, very small, but if you want to show somebody you're interested in them, compliment and reward behaviors they show towards you that you want to encourage. Oh, thank you, that's so thoughtful of you. Oh, thank you, you're such a gentleman. Just appreciating men for the good things they do for you, instead of just putting them up on a pedestal, using your romantic bias to load him with like all these compliments. And while all those compliments might be true, he might be deserving of them, remember that men value what they work for. So make him work. Make him work for your appreciation. And in the beginning, when you're not really dating and you're still like wanting to show your romantic interest, find that smallest thing he does for you and reward him with a compliment on that. When he texts you, say, it feels good to hear from you. It makes me happy to hear from you. That's a great way to show a man, hey, do this more. I like it. I like it when you do this. So you don't want to load a man with disingenuous compliments or compliments coming from your knowledge of who he is. You want to load a man with compliments that are genuinely based on the efforts he's making for you. Now, tip number 3 on how to show a man you're interested in him in a feminine way and without scaring him away. This is all about being vulnerable. And I don't mean being vulnerable with something super heavy like your childhood trauma or a lot of pain from your previous marriage or your previous relationships. I'm not talking about getting heavy here, but what I am talking about is having the courage to reveal something that is personal. So something about maybe a fear that you have. Oh, I'm really afraid of heights and I feel ashamed of that because apparently, my dad is a top-level bungee jumper. Whatever, I just made that up. But revealing something vulnerable about yourself is a great way to bond and is a great way to show somebody that you're relating with that you matter, you're important. I share something with you that I normally wouldn't share with other people, right? So this is an honor. This is a respect you offer a man that you like. And if he's emotionally intelligent, if he's smart, if he's successful, he has the emotional intelligence to understand that somebody like you wouldn't reveal such information to many people. You would only reveal it to somebody you trust. So opening up with something vulnerable, I again want to emphasize nothing too vulnerable, but something vulnerable, something personal about yourself, and it's going to really help the two of you bond. And it's possible that he's also going to return the favor to you, which is again going to bond the two of you together. The next tip on how you can show a man that you're interested in him without scaring him away while still being in your feminine is being a challenge. I told you the video gets better and better if you keep watching, so well done for making it so far. And I do have a special gift for everyone who is watching, so watch right to the end, especially if you're a single woman right now. So this one is a highly underestimated art. I think not a lot of women know how to do it, not a lot of women are doing it. But being a challenge around the man you like is a great idea, is a great way to demonstrate value, and it's a great way to instinctively activate him to make more effort for you, to come for you, to pursue you. So being a challenge looks like, let's just say, dropping hints that if he comes for you, you're gonna be saying yes. So being a challenge could look like when a guy says, oh my God, I have to really see that exhibition. And you can say something like, oh, I also want to see that exhibition, and maybe you could take me with you, but I'm not sure that's a good idea because then you might get a crush on me. Ooh, very, very flirty, very, very brave. You've totally escalated things here with being a challenge. But do you see, like, you've dropped the hint? You said you would like to go to the exhibition. You said you would also want to see that, but you've also said it's not a good idea because then he might get a crush on you. So now he's going to go home and he's going to think, so does she want me to take her to the exhibition or does she not want me to take her to the exhibition? And of course, you saying something like, I'm not sure that's a good idea, you'll get a crush on me, is also a way to show romantic interest, right? Like now you're being playful, you're escalating things, but you're escalating things in a very contained way, in a very feminine way, in a very challenging, edgy, sexy kind of way, still without being direct. So being a challenge is amazing, and you can be a challenge to men in so many different ways. In fact, we talk about this in my Elevate program in much more detail because I think it's a missing art, and I think there are so many smart, successful women out there who actually have this naughty, wild, edgy side to them, but we are afraid to reveal it to the very men we like. When the man we like comes in front of us, we become good girls, we become super sweet girls. And while there is nothing wrong with being a super sweet girl, I think bringing in this edge, bringing in this challenge is such a great way to escalate things and to make a man think differently about you, because that's what you want. You don't want a man to think about you in a friendly way, right? Like you want him to think about you beyond friendship. And so for beyond friendship, some women have the edge with looks, right? Some women just look amazing, and so they're always desirable to men. I wasn't born looking like a supermodel. I love the way I look, but I knew that I had to bring out other qualities to my personality, other strengths in my personality in order to be desirable, and not just through my body and my looks, which I also think is just superficial. Like if there is nothing beyond you, beyond your body and your looks, then that's a sad reality, right? So we don't want to be the woman who's just desired for her body, but being desired as more than a friend does require a man to desire you physically and sexually and think of you beyond the buddy zone. Now, before I get to point number 5, I have a quick invitation. I have a 5-part video series called the Early Dating Mastery Series. It's for single women who are looking to attract a provider, masculine man. And inside it, I'm going to show you how to feel excited about dating, meet good men, be in your feminine light, magnetic energy, and learn how to be a challenge by drawing boundaries. It's worth hundreds of dollars, if not thousands, but right now you can grab it for free. The link will be in the video description below. All right, so let's talk about number 5, the way to show a man you like him without scaring him away. Now, this is very simple, but again, very difficult for women to do. And this is called flirting. Flirting is an art, and there are many types of flirting a woman can do. But to simplify this, let's say there is sexual flirting and then there is non-sexual flirting. Now, I'm not a fan at all of sexual flirting. I think it puts you in the wrong category in a man's mind. And once a woman is sexually flirting, I mean, like touching a man's thighs or, talking dirty with a man too early on in the dating process, I think you're going to become a booty call. You're definitely not going to be seen as wife material because you're activating his short-term dating strategy. You're not activating his long-term mating strategy, which is to find a wife, because then you're going to be about sex. So my recommendation is to become a really good non-sexual flirt. I teach this inside Elevate, which is currently enrolling, and I have an entire training on the art of flirting because I think women tend to be too serious, too dense, too in their heads. We are also afraid of coming across as too forward, as too slutty, and no dignified woman wants to come that way. But flirting is truly the thing that differentiates you from the woman who is a friend to the woman that is desirable. And so if you're wanting to show your interest in a guy, flirt and learn the art of flirting. And non-sexual flirting is not just limited to men. Non-sexual flirting is an art that I practice personally on everyone. I flirt with the trees, I hug trees, I kiss them. I flirt with my kids, I kiss them, I hug them, I give them compliments all the time. I am playful with them. And of course I do it with my husband. And of course I do it with my friends. So if you feel like you find it hard to flirt, number one, understand that this is a skill and you can learn it. Any woman can learn it, okay? I learned it. I come from a very traditional background and I learned how to flirt, so can you. And number two, I teach this as just one training inside my Elevate program. And inside Elevate, I basically work with women from 28 to 70 years old, single women looking to attract the one, and to do it in the shortest amount of time. It's my signature group coaching program where you can access me and my entire team of coaches. It's an elite, highly personalized service. So if that is calling you, make sure to book a call with us and inquire about the program. I love you all. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm gonna see you again next Saturday at 5 p.m. Berlin time with a brand new video. Lots of love.